What are dark secrets about the porn industry that people should know? The grooming and locking. If you've never heard of locking, it's basically when a group of girls doing porn are living together, typically, and they are pressured to spend their money by producers who claim to be their friends. The goal here is to diminish any sort of saving money thought process, and they make it out like the money will never stop coming. This keeps them broke and making doing more shoots. That was in the after porn documentaries on Netflix, weren't they? I think the doc was called Hot Girls Wanted, if I remember correctly. Some girls are tricked into filming the video. They're promised to do some modeling, and when they arrive they find out that it's more than just a few pictures. Porn is a big human trafficking industry. Nowhere near as rampant and dangerous as child trafficking, but it's still very active. Came to comment from personal experience. I'm not in the adult entertainment industry, but I booked a boudoir photo shoot a few years back to surprise my boyfriend, and I booked with this amazing photographer. I was raped during the photo shoot. A video recorder was on the entire time. That of course captured everything, and the video went to the black market. The photographer was actually deep into sex trafficking, but these traffic rings stay 100 steps ahead at all times. That the police investigation became cold very fast. God ducking damn, I shed a tear for you. That is awful. I hope you got the help you needed. Oh, I also used to drive some exotic dancers 2 or 3 cities to do regular doctor appointments. They never felt safe going local because they always get recognized and people get creepy. Not sure if that counts as porn industry, but I'd imagine the same rules apply. I'm a stripper. Been one 15 years. There's a name for this, and it's called never shit, where you eat meaning never work in the same city as you live. It can be as dangerous as seeing a man from the club sitting outside your house because he was certain that no matter how many times you told him no, has convinced you are secretly in love with him. It can be as simple as someone recognizing you in the grocery store and has respect and doesn't say anything but has still there. Once you've made the decision to sell yourself, men think all that's left is haggling over the price. Well, it's not. Just because I'm comfortable up on stage naked and can hold a conversation while my underwear is on your head doesn't mean I want that environment everywhere I go. Your revved up wife who'll go down on you in the kitchen is not expected to do that same thing while shopping for yams and eggs, so why do they think he'll do it? The most scary, when someone thinks they know me more as a person now and get special privileges because they tried to wave at me while I was doing laundry somewhere. I had a young man run up to me in a Home Depot like I was his long lost high school girlfriend so he could introduce me to his beer buddies because 2 weeks earlier I had ridden him around the stage like a donkey at his bachelor party at the club. Dude, I'm not your girlfriend just because I wrote Athena was here on your back with a magic marker as part of the show. All the other strippers you hired to participate did it too. Go away. I'm trying to buy a new pond for my turtles. Link. imga.com/usogf. JPG. That's a cool turtle. Thanks for sharing. A lot of actors takes a lot of drugs. Like a lot. Plus basically every male actor gets erectile dysfunction after being in the business for so long as they are pumped up on Viagra. Too much blow and the cock won't grow. Too much white and your dick ain't right. Hot Girls Wanted. Produced by Rashida Jones. Explores most of the seedy practices discussed in here. Seen it and can highly recommend it. Also its follow-up film. Edit. The follow-up film is actually a 6-part series, but it's very bingable, so I forgot that it is not a movie. Hot Girls Wanted and Hot Girls Wanted Turned On are both available on Netflix. I know a girl who did some porn, and she started doing it when she was only a teenager, except all her porn videos were labeled 18+. 1. Amateur/homemade 18y/overs are likely not 18. 2. The industry gives no shits about protecting minors. If it were legal they'd go as low as they could. See Japan. Color Climax. Traci Lords. Traci Lords' case is especially despicable due to all the hate she received. When it came out she was 16 in her vids and 14 in her pinups. As well as the fact that in 1987 they made a porn film about her sexual exploitation. 3. Pornhub specifically makes it especially difficult to get minors taken down from the site, even if you report multiple times. Several famous minors are actually recommended search terms. 4. Not really the industry, but whenever there's a high-profile rape in the news, the victim's name becomes a popular search terms on all sites. I read Traci Lord's book, and it was super eye-opening. She only had one porn movie, that she was over 18 inches. She was underage and all the rest. And people hated her once it came out that she was underage. Acted like she was this mastermind who was working to take down the porn industry and make millions off doing so. Somehow, it was crazy. I hope she's doing better now. A trafficked 15-year-old was found on Pornhub, almost to 100 videos. She was verified by Pornhub while trafficked. This is why I don't feel bad about reading trashy books and erotica. People don't get trafficked into writing smut. That's so incredibly ducked. James Dean, the famous porn star who made a killing by looking like an authentic, genuine dude, is a rapist according to several costers and his ex-girlfriend Stoya. But the porn industry didn't get a Me Too movement, so he's still in porn and Stoya isn't. And it wasn't even a ducking secret. Kink.com dropped him though. They're actually a pretty good co from what I've seen and heard. Many of the 18-year porn stars were recruited when they were 16 or 17. I vacationed in San Diego when I was 17 and was recruited for modeling by a very attractive and seductive young woman at the beach. I went to the office building she told me to go to, a high-rise next to a highway. In reception I walked out. Casting couch type atmosphere and models as the staff. My story ends there. Sounds like you almost got Ghislaine Maxwell'd. They recruit young women and teens from troubled homes or rebelling against their parents. They lure them in with money and the ability to live free and do what they want. All they have to do is some amateur porn. Once away from friends and family, they are put in a house with other young women in the industry and given a room. They bond and go to shoots or whatever. They get paid a lot and they love it. Some get hooked on drugs. Almost all have bad experiences. The person who owns the house they live in takes a cut of everything. It's all a bunch of teen girls, so it's not a very clean place. The turnover rate is astounding as well. It's a miracle essentially if you last longer than 4 months without a mental breakdown or going home and never returning. You talk about hot girls wanted. It was once legal in some countries to use children. Child porn was legal in Denmark until like 1980. It was still illegal to have sex, rape, with children, so the production of hardcore child porn was illegal, but the product itself was legal to own and sell. Today there is an archive of kiddie porn at the National Library that can be accessed by researchers with special permission. Imagine being the librarian in charge of that. So what do? Oh, I'm a kiddie porn curator. So you couldn't produce it, but you could own it. That system seems like there is no possible way it could be abused. I don't think people realize just how many videos contain people being trafficked. This is really just convincing me that watching tentacle hentai is for the greater good. I'm doing my part. The whole tons of Viagra thing is absolutely true, and so is the bit about casting directors playing fast and loose with STDs. I have a friend that once turned down a shoot for a gay porn at a campground because none of the actors were required to be tested beforehand. A few of them ended up contracting HIV from that shoot. They, mainly Pornhub, but most sites do it, turn a blind eye to human trafficking because that brings in over 1/3 of their profits through these homemade videos. Also, there was a petition to get Pornhub taken down for this. Not sure if it's been said yet, but the outdoor or public scenes require permits to shoot. 80% of the time their crew shows up with a police scanner and cheeses it before the cops show up. Edit: yes folks, there's worse out there than evading paperwork filing costs in the porn industry. But when posting initially I really expected this to be overlooked. Also, cheese it is an outdated term apparently, so the stars checking that the coast is clear before doing stuff is not acting. That's actually kinda funny. A lot of the 18-year-olds in the porn industry probably were in it when they were younger too. A lot of the time child pornography slips through the cracks. More often than not those girls that like 14 to 16 are actually within that age range, but nobody questions it because age checks don't happen often. So next time you're spanking your bacon to some petite flat-chested teen barely legal shit, think twice before you nut. That may be a child. That's why I only stick to granny porn. Child actors from Thailand. Never, ever search up Thai. The dressing room trash cans are full of empty disposable enemas and it smells like farts and sadness in there. Does it bother anyone else how abundant the teen and incest / step family content is on Pornhub? Yes. Nowadays, it's very similar to a studio style 9-to-5 job. Nobody is really making a lot of money anymore. I've been in and out of it for about 25 years. It's morphed into this industry where smarter people use pornography to build a brand. The people that were popular 25 years ago wouldn't get far today because they were primarily only interested in getting paid upfront for shooting scenes. If I'm going to do this, I want $300. Those types. So, those people could go out and get paid $600 per film, which was great money back in 2001. Many people busted their asses to make as much content as they could, but there was no residual income after that. So that's why in the late 90s and early 2000s, there were simply so many films. Now, the women are tracking their income on the back end with things like Snapchat and OnlyFans. It's not a cleaner industry by any means. When you say it isn't a cleaner industry, how is it not? If more models are moving to OnlyFans and self-promoting / producing, wouldn't the increased autonomy mean less abuse, fair compensation, and obviously consented performance and distribution? I think they're using clean in a work transaction manner. Very cut and dry. Before, show up, do the work, get paid, and go home. Now, lots of gray area, paycheck uncertainty, gotta hustle and market yourself, and more competition. They may be safer now from abuse, but the trade-off is there's less structure, and not everyone can cut it as a freelance contractor in that industry or any. Really. Pornhub actively removes any criticism on Reddit using the admins. You'll receive at minimum 3-day suspension, or perhaps more, just for mentioning that they consistently fail to remove child porn or non-consensual rape videos. Just Google Pornhub fail to remove videos. Too many to count. Edit it's under harassment on the content policy. #PORNHUB does not remove child porn or underage kids videos now to wait and see the ban come in. Porn isn't a how-to guide for your own sex life. Wait, you're telling me I shouldn't just unsuspectingly stick it in my sister's butt? You mean stepsister? Great. After reading these comments I can no longer watch porn. Thanks boys. You're better off TBH. Spend that time on something productive. You are right. Most men in gay porn are straight. They just get paid more for taking it up the bum. Edit. To all of those saying that doing gay porn makes you gay, I'll say this: doing something you don't really enjoy, but pretending you're happy is what the rest of us call a day's work. Edit 2. Thanks for upvotes and awards. I'm surprised my answer got so popular. I'm afraid I can't answer all your comments, but I've enjoyed reading the ones I've seen. Thank you. 18. 500 kind strangers. Yep, as a gay person, most of the things I see on gay porn sites is gay for pay, aka literally being paid for gay sex. The only thing that gets me harder than anal sex is capitalism. Should have posted this with a serious tag. Definitely, given the way people are responding to comments with serious information. This topic came up several years ago, I think on an Ask Me Anything type of subreddit, and a male professional chimed in. It was pretty shocking stuff, and as I recall many of the serious comments in this post reflect the content. Edit. I don't have a link as this was before I bothered having a Reddit account. If I find it, I'll definitely add the link to this comment. Those sizes are not natural, and the actors usually don't last an hour, they just edit the shootings they did edit. Wow. My most upvoted comment is about dicks 3 times bigger than mine. Note that. As someone else has pointed out down here. Another big thing, pun intended, is the camera angle. They are shot with the purpose of making the dick look bigger. So watch out with your dick pics. Who even watches for an hour? Give me the 6-minute condensed version. I got shit to do. TL, DW. The porn industry is very toxic and the actors are treated very badly. This is just from memory, but I'm gonna keep trying to find where I heard this. But yeah, hasn't there been at least 2 to 3 famous porn stars that quit or took breaks because the hardcore scenes were just the guys kicking the shit out of the girls while ducking them? I know there was one guy who was infamous for doing that, but I can't remember his name. Edit, the one I was thinking of, James Dean. But I'm not surprised there's a solid 5 to 6 more famous ones that I've just been sent. Yuck. Duck porn. Shit industry. Porn seems to have turned into incest. Spitting. Slapping and choking. It's tough if you like a little light bondage, but aren't into a woman tied into a pretzel with her breasts squeezed until they are purple and her siblings hate ducking her. Those orgasms aren't real. Next you'll be telling me my wife is faking it too. I don't know. She's pretty convincing. Drugs, abuse, lie, and eat hot chip. Charge they phone. A lot of girls get trafficked into porn, or they are coerced into rougher/fetishized scenes that they are uncomfortable with but feel they have to perform because they are unsafe, and in some cases, they aren't even able to say their safe words. There is a lot of drugs and violence involved. Actresses may be offered drugs like Xanax before a scene and some have been asked to eat apples so that they can vomit on screen. Injuries may occur, including the woman who left a rough BJ scene and had burst a blood vessel in her eye due to the nature of the shoot. There is plenty more horror stories online. Pornhub has already been directly involved with human traffic of a teenage girl. There were 100 videos of her. She was verified. Pornhub literally supported pedophilia, human traffic and rape. She was only 15. I never heard any follow-up about what happened. Did they find her? Does anyone know if she is okay now? Often men takes Viagra, Cialis and other drugs to stay along. Some of them even takes the drugs with a syringe in their own penis. Most of the cum is a mixed fluid. They take it in an extra camera shot so that it looks normal. Christian 30 molest the women after the clip is finished. About every woman says that. Hey, thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.